Yo, yo, people. As I've promised yesterday, Victor Bugge came around. Hi, Victor.
Hi everyone. Hi Philip. How are you doing?
Oh, I just ran a couple of kilometers, in fact, like five.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
a bunch of people running near my house. Like, I was never figuring that people just ashamed to work out in the daytime. Just everybody goes in the night,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
ashamed of their fat. I don't know what the hell is going on. You guys have a bunch of people running, making sports in the streets. Or
Yeah. Yeah. It's trendy to do so. So people do it. A lot of people. Yeah. It's a lot of runners in Denmark and a lot of biking going on. And yeah, we exercise a lot. I think a lot of training centers. Yeah, basically everywhere, and all the
what
young boys work out and stuff.
what is the major sports that you guys? I mean like Danish sport, not the
Oh,
official sport. Is there any your folk sports? I mean,
well, the most official sport would be handball because we invented handball and we're pretty good at it.
yeah.
And yeah, we have the best guy in the world, Mikkel Hansen. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but still, yeah. And then we play soccer a lot in Denmark. Um, yeah,
But
and
I mean, do you have any games since like before 19th century?
no, I don't
The,
think so. No, no.
the games you play like folk games, because we have a bunch of Russian games which are not official, but people play them still. Like some games look like baseball or something like this with the bat and the balls, and also
Uh,
teams. Some team tactics are going out in the field, but it's called lapta,
oh,
and
okay.
we have guys throwing sticks to some figures, and like we call it, um, like a town. So you hit the town with the stick, and it's like a bowling, but with the stick, right?
Mm.
So
Oh,
very interesting. And everybody in the chat, if you have any folk games in your countries, just write me in a private message in Facebook. I wanna make a video about the folk games. I mean the games that were before 19th century, that the games that we can only learn in the books or during the tradition in the villages and small towns. Maybe you know what I'm talking about.
hmm.
Uh, so it's like a folk dance, but it's a folk game. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't know anything specifically Danish. No bells are ringing. I'm afraid.
But you got folk dances, right?
Yeah, yeah, but they are very similar to German folk dances.
Yeah.
But we have our own. Yes, I'm not sure how old they are claimed to be, but
Like dancing in the circles, walking in the circles.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, I mean, all this circle tradition. We have it also in Russia, in many countries. Like Iran has it, India has it. I mean,
Yeah, you see the Sufis. The Sufi dance is
yeah, it's like
basically is circling around.
spinning dance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Turkish guys have a bunch of those dances. Very interesting, and I mean, people like even fall in a trance during them. And we have like Russian berezka, which is very interesting. I would like to show it, but I mean, it's like copyright will be striking me immediately.
Oh.
So, everybody, if you want to check out beautiful dance, just Google berezka, Berezka after this chat, of course, or maybe I'll put the link in the description. Just Google this show. It's like Russian show, very famous show. Okay. Um, so you wanted to present something on Giants, I think,
Mm,
and
yeah.
so just let's go there.
Okay, let's go. I'll screen share, and yeah, I wanted to talk about when we see the giants coexist with regular people, maybe us. I don't know, but yeah, I went through the Smithsonian archives and I just stumbled randomly upon this, and it was like this fashion stamp. And what do you know? two giant men and a little guy. He's wearing, he has a cane, so, and he's wearing manly shoes and clothes. So this is an adult, and these are giants. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and the one in the background guy also.
Yeah, yeah. You can see these two are very big.
No, 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 no. I mean the just closer to the guy on the left. Just you see also two guys in a shorty.
Yeah, yeah. You see that, and you can compare that shorty with the dog and the horse, and I guess this female too is is an adult. But the funny
So
thing, when you read the stamp, the first thing the description says is it's a fashion stamp, and you must take notice of the two children. So these are children.
no, I mean the one on the left could be a child because the dress is really like childish, but the
Yeah,
guy with the stick looks very manly,
at
I'd say.
adult. Yes,
Yeah,
but
or
yeah, and I follow that indeed. But I would say if this is a child, compare her with the horse. She's pretty big.
what size is the horse actually?
I well, yeah, that's a good question. We cannot know if this is a pony or if it's a regular size horse.
Doesn't look like a pony.
It doesn't look like a pony, no. I would say it looks like a regular size horse. And compared to a child, I would say most children, maybe 10 years old, would reach a horse to like maybe here,
Hmm.
and she just looks a
Probably
little,
not. I think like I have well,
maybe a little bit taller.
whatever. We just
Yeah.
just let's skip this because it's not very important. Let's check
But
others.
there's also another thing about this picture, and I didn't notice this until another guy told me that he was very interested in this picture, not for the giants,
Hmm.
but because of this building. And he said that although this is Philadelphia,
Hmm.
this is
And
fashion for spring, summer, Walnut Street, Philadelphia. And supposedly this building looks a lot like one of the buildings that was in the Philadelphia Exposition. The problem is that this building, or the Philadelphia Exposition, was built in the 70s, so 20 years after. So he was very interested to see if this building was actually an old Philadelphia Exposition building.
what year is it? What the year is the picture again?
And it's 1853.
Yeah.
And the Philadelphia Exposition was in, or the World Fair in Philadelphia was in 1876. So this building was there, he thought. But then he went and read a little bit more, and this picture description further states that this is supposedly the New York and a building in New York City, the Crystal Palace, it says. But it's just weird that you have all this setting for Philadelphia clothing line, and then you have a picture of the Crystal Palace. It just wouldn't make any sense. So I have to go and make comparisons to see if this is the Crystal Palace or if they are just lying.
Is the fashion comparable to the fashion of 50s? I think it looks much more modern because the 50s they probably didn't have such hats.
Oh, you
Maybe.
think not? Like a top hat here?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, but yeah, let's.
Or maybe it's like in Russia they used to wear such hats in like 30s, I think. Well,
Okay.
well, it's just in it's just it's a matter of fashion because we have to maybe find some fashion catalogs and check
Hmm.
out those fashion history because those fashion history guys they they're so nerd in this stuff and they pick all this stuff and they collect it and they they know fashion. Fashion is a key
Hmm.
to the timeline also.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea, actually. And what I saw a recent video on UAP channel, and he was talking about what we're talking about now, having a race of giants and a race of regular sized people or smaller people living, coexisting side by side. And he found some paintings where this is shown, or what we are going to see a lot of in this chat. These are pictures of Versailles Gardens, and the fountains. And when I looked through this, I was looking for fountain technology, but I couldn't help notice um, this basically that there are what seems to be adults. Some of the pictures are not that clear. I'm sorry. I have better close-ups, but just don't assume these are children. For instance, uh, would a child go behind the mother holding her dress as
Yeah,
if a slave?
actually, they would have this explanation because we call this position a page.
A
Page,
page.
yeah, page is the servant of the queen or king, and he's like doing all this simple job like carrying the dress and stuff like this. That's why probably you have it still in a wedding when kids holding the dress of the fiance
Yeah,
while
yeah, okay. I guess I'll have to look into that if that indeed it could be a way to
yeah,
explain.
I mean the best example of the giant would be if something is that we could compare to the size that could be actually showing the evidence of the height of
Yeah,
something.
and that was what UAP did. He found a painting of what we see here, basically, but inside a church. And then he compared the church today with the church then, and he saw that compared with, for instance, the pillars and the heights of the people, he could see that they were giants, and there were smaller people, kind of like this, and they were adults.
Yeah,
So, but here, this one, for instance, is good to have a reference to a dog, because then you can see, is this really a child or could this be an adult compared with the dog? And then these giant ladies, um, it, this is a very tiny dog compared with the ladies.
look at the back. In the back of this picture, just you see a guy and two ladies, I think, on a bench.
Yeah,
Compare this guy to a bench on to the right of him.
yeah. He wouldn't be able to sit on it, and this one he would be able to sit on. So maybe there are benches for the bigger people and benches for the smaller people. That's a good observation.
Yeah,
That's
I mean we have to check for such things because I have an eye for this, so it's like we have
yeah,
to upload those archives so people can exchange their opinions. Like I think you do it in some groups, right?
yeah,
Just
yeah. We do that a
yeah,
lot.
give me some links so I can put them in the description so people can uh, go and also discuss and
Yeah,
know the.
I will I will try to it's I have a lot of links, but I'll try to find this one. It's a I think it's a week ago I did these pictures, so I'll have to go back. But yeah, here you see, for instance, them they are holding canes and they're wearing bags and hats, and also compare with the heads. The heads are very big. If they were just children, normally if these are teenagers, for instance, or maybe 10, 11 years old, their heads would
Yeah, we don't see
grow.
any kids of those giants though. I mean,
No, that's a
any
good
people.
point. But we don't see any, babies either. Maybe these, when you go such a place like this, it's not, for kids.
I
It's just like
mean,
a thought I have
this is
that this
what
is,
this is what looks like a cloning factory, like the people walking around and like different types of people breeding, and they are not like interacting, having babies with each other because it's
hmm,
like impossible in a closed community. Everybody would be interacting, so it's like impossible. So they could be having babies on the pictures, but they not, and
yeah.
nobody is comparable size. So like the big guys are not having babies at all. I mean, it's what we can observe from this picture.
And here you have like three heights, like one height, like nearly like maybe these could be the same perhaps, but it also could be that there are like maybe three types, maybe
Yeah,
even four or five. I don't know. There's
yeah,
just so many different heights, and they all seem to be kind of adult and wearing adult clothes. It's just so confusing. So yeah, I
yeah. No
think
kid, no kids around. No kids around.
no,
Nobody's playing ball or something.
no.
No.
We will see one. We will see that in one picture I have, so you can see that. But yeah, in these Versailles pictures, we get this a lot. They are doing this, and and sometimes you get like very big differences in height. He's a
Yeah, I
lady.
mean
This is a dude.
those shorties never like standing in the front of those big guys. They always in the back and to the side, so they look like servants,
Yeah.
and they never touching those big guys like in an appropriate way. They only like holding their dresses and stuff like this.
Yes. Exactly. You see it again and again.
And those
It's the
big
same.
ones touch each other, and they like act like friends, and like they talking to each other, like turning their heads to each other,
Yeah.
ge- gestures, and all this stuff. Like they show something to each other, and not
Yeah.
interacting with the shortest also.
Yeah. That's true. It's all worthy of notice. Such things to think about the dynamic of. This is not the best picture, but yeah, it's a beautiful um, earthwork. I like to think of all this as geomancy, as earth technology to produce um, beautiful gardens and growth. And but it's funny how it always seems to be ending with the aesthetics. Like they just do a lot of art and then they just leave it at that. We don't see them. We don't see any pictures where they have like huge growing facilities where they grow huge fruits and stuff like that.
Hmm.
We never
Yeah.
see that. I have not come across like um, a, a fruit plantation, for instance, where you can see fruits growing like clearly.
It looks like just a bunch of biorobots for me. So like,
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, like they are not like they have some source of power which is like lasting during their lives, and they don't eat anything. So like, the breeding hybrids or whatever you call them, biorobots, androids.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. Could be that
That's
the
why they are not having babies,
hmm.
because they are just breeded.
Yeah, but sometimes we do see kids, but not in these though. And she's holding
And
like a
look at
cane.
none of the pictures show what they have, like an apple in their hands, or maybe a bottle of wine, or whatever, a glass of water.
No, they
Nothing like
only canes and hats and no books. No, they're only talking to each other and
no tables, no fourchettes, no champagne on ice. Nothing like this. No pineapples, man.
no. It's weird.
Where's our aristocratic banquet? Where's the official barbecues? What the hell, man?
Yeah, yeah. And when we get stamps from illumination parties, it's only where they stand and look on light and they dance around in circles, and we rarely see food. When you get to the stamps around 1850s and 60s and 70s and so on, you get food and tables and stuff like that. But before that, it's very sometimes a pain to find.
And
Uh,
remember what they told us about the kings and stuff like this, and these noble people. They were
yeah,
hunting each and every day. They had a whole huge bunch of forests with the fox hunting, bird hunting, duck hunting, bear hunting, deer hunting, moose hunting, whatever. No
yeah.
hunting pictures at all, right? Like they're not eating at all.
No, it's funny that we are not seeing those either. No, so it just seems that like when if we if somebody asked me what did these people eat, I would have no idea, and that's weird. And we,
Yeah.
of course, they have like official dishes. When in Denmark they talk about the old kings and what they ate.
Yeah, I mean, guys,
They
look.
just seem to be like making stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, guys, look how many people in the same place at the same time. They have to be drinking something. They have to be eating something. They have to have servants with this food, with the tables and stuff like this. Because no way they're gonna be walking around in this garden for hours, like with nothing. It's like it's no respect for them, if they don't have any food or something like that. Just
No,
understand, it's not what we told. It's not what these huge bowls with people sneaking around with this,
no, I agree.
fancy food and all this stuff, fruits, cocktails, and all this wineries, alcohol,
Yeah, and this is France. So this is like the nation of
wine.
fine dining. Yeah. So and all the pictures of this is of France. Funny. So we will see French giants. Look at that. Look at the difference. And here, it's just everywhere in this book of Versailles. So I'm hoping people will sometimes go over maybe old paintings. Maybe they have looked on a lot of these types of pictures already and not really noticed that there is a huge height differential. Um, so yeah, I'm doing that. I'm going through all the old stuff I've already seen and looking for this, see just how much of it is out there. And I think yeah, I'm just scratching the surface really.
Yeah. What about fountains? Have you researched any, maybe, any evidence of those fountains? How did they work actually? Because if they had such large numbers in those parks, they had to have some, power source to circulate those pumps and
Yeah,
all the fluids. It's just cleaning of these fountains is a huge big deal.
yeah. And I do have found I have found some few images where you can see that there are tunnels under the fountains and a network of tunnels connecting them. But I haven't found anything to that suggests how they pumped all that water. Um, but I think maybe the massive underground aquifers that we have found in Mundus Subterraneus from Persia could perhaps be the answer to how they do that. Maybe these underwater water these underground water depots or reservoirs.
Yeah, you have to have pressure to.
Yeah, I know you have to have pressure, but I think they tap into that somehow. And yeah, I don't have any idea how they create such amount of pressure.
Any
But
depictions of water pressure towers or something like this on those pictures? Have you met?
mm, maybe I don't recall any. I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
just check for thick, round towers.
Yeah, we just in the other chat because I just finished another chat with the people that talk on Certus channel, and we
Mhm.
have a Discord, and we sometimes discuss a lot of things and present what we find, and yeah, and we just talked about water towers and panopticons. Do you know what a panopticon is?
Well, not really.
Okay, just try googling that after our chat, and you'll see instantly that it's very interesting. It's about the water towers and these rounded shapes,
Panoptic
panopticons.
panopticons.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
Seen in Renin tree.
excuse me.
It's called panopticons. Uh, it's like, well, whatever. You send me a link. I can find
Yeah,
any
yeah,
distance
yeah.
here.
I'll ask some of the other guys who knows more about it than I. And also, by the way, one of the guys I talk with, Mike Ultraduck, he's probably one of the guys who have mapped the most star forts in the world right now. on Google Maps, and you should definitely. I would advise you talking. I think your viewers would love to see just how many Star Forces out there he has. I think he has the most maps. We're talking thousands.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
aware about it. So it's like we also have some sites with the people that are putting them on the maps. So it's like,
yeah. But yeah, if you want to, he has a beautiful collection.
yeah,
So much.
if I'd like to talk to anybody who can talk, please. If he can
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
English, we can talk and discuss whatever. So we can meet and
Of course.
have a
Okay.
chat.
But yeah, let's carry on. These are from a fictional story, but it's basically just we're seeing the same thing as in the Versailles, the two different heights. But you'll see more of this print. This is from a painting, a stamp, sorry, of a painting from Gallica, and here you see the guy with the cane. We basically see the same things as in the Versailles pictures. Now we just have it in color. And here you see, I would say these are perhaps the giant's children, and they are with the same height as normal adults. And the way you distinguish them is that they are running around seeming to be playing, and they have more childlike face, and they are playing a drum. Whereas these guys, this guy is holding a cane. He's wearing a hat that is more adult, or so no, he's not maybe wearing a hat. That might be the clothing of this guy. But these guys, look at the hits compared to this guy. Maybe consider their hands, and they're also just giants everywhere. So yeah, what do you think, Philip, about this one?
Uh, very interesting picture.
Yeah,
Can't
uh,
say nothing suspicious, but I can. We have to have a better how do you call it, resolution
yeah,
to
it's
figure out their
sometimes
faces because this is like a painting. It's not a picture. I mean, not a photograph. So it's like very hard to
this is
understand.
yeah, I get what you're saying. This is the other part of the picture or the painting, and this guy looks maybe Chinese,
Yeah.
Tartarian.
What is the animal right next to him?
I think this is a goat, and this guy looks very big. He looks very wide. See, like his big arm, and compared with these guys, he looks very big. Like like Andre the Giant, if you know that guy, uh, and he looks very wide as well. Like very
There's a bunch of horses and different types of horses. Some of them are huge, like huge horses.
yeah,
Some of them like ordinary horses. So comparable to that guy on the horse, he's still a lot bigger than the horse.
yeah,
Like
yeah. It
he,
seems so. And we don't know if these horses are bigger than our horses today as well, because
yeah.
with
If he like he's like 10 feet tall, could a horse carry him? Probably could.
yeah, probably could, I would say. And I think we have stories of like the large.
The head of the ordinary person would be like to his shoulder when he's on the horse.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. And maybe we should get like we I should maybe have found like some horse pictures of modern day just to calibrate our
Yeah.
vision a bit. But yeah, okay, you we can go do that individually just to explore. But yeah, let's just keep going. These are the same of the French, and I think these are is a fictional story, of course. But I think we're seeing the same thing, just um, yeah, giants in plain sight. And this guy, pretty big hit compared to that guy, and also yeah, these little ladies,
Mm-hmm.
and also the cage is weird, but yeah. And more of Versailles. It's the same thing. You're probably getting tired of seeing it, but yeah, here you see what you were talking about.
Yeah, also.
Yeah, and yeah, it's the same painting of you see the same here as we've already seen. Um, so yeah, they were just my zoom ins, and but here again.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of it, and we should keep our eyes open
So,
when we're looking. Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that huge parasol compared to that guy.
what do they have in the back? Are those cannons? Or what is
No,
that?
they're just like it seems like taxis.
Oh,
So the giants are pulling the taxis,
very
and
funny.
yeah, and also some people could perhaps say that these are just designed to show people around Versailles, but they seem to be including some of the things that they're doing. So why would they include like them pulling all these things, but not include them having drinks and eating and stuff like that? It's weird, right? Like, where do you draw the line? Why would you include this, but not include them obviously having to eat and drink and other stuff?
Yeah,
Do
like
you get my point?
yeah, I get your point. We've been talking about it like in 2007, 2008, when this guy told me like that the people of the past um, were able not to eat at all. But he was
Hmm.
thinking about it as like some spiritual quality of the person that he could, get released of all this food, water, and even, you know, he would be taking all this moisture from the breathing and like not having a drink at
Yeah.
all. So, I mean, if we talk about biorobots, this is the best explanation. I mean, this is not a spiritual being; it's just a biorobot.
Yeah. We are, spirits having and inhabiting a human experience, not the other way around. I actually, I think one of the in my first years of searching for stuff on the internet, I came across an FBI document that said exactly that. Yeah, not to spread hearsay, but uh, but I'm pretty sure I read that in an FBI document. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah.
like just imagine the Brigid biorobots. They were controlling and like protecting this class, this order of enslavement of elites. Elites were enslaving everybody else and like mining and getting all those resources. And the giants were in the way, so they just figured they should destroy them, just
Hmm.
get rid of them because it's impossible to keep this always in the same position because they are not dying at all. They are like by robots, you know. And it was
Yeah,
a bunch,
and that's
bunch, bunch.
also what the Bible says, right? With Adam and his
Yeah,
family
like
living nearly 1,000 years.
yeah. I mean, and this is why we can see like a bunch of people hunting those giants, trying to kill them
Hmm.
because they just didn't die.
Yeah, yeah, I can see your point. Look, that's I think there were only like 2 or 3 pictures in this book that didn't have this theme. So it was just like in every picture, I was getting tired at the in the end of seeing the same thing. But yeah, it's impressive when you just haven't seen this before. It's really mind-boggling, and you have to think about all of the details and all the things that are missing and all the things that should be there, and try to get a bigger picture of like to explain what we're seeing.
I
Um,
mean, the painter was really experienced, I think, because he's like measuring all these proportions and like all this
Look at the
perspective.
shadows and
And
perspective.
perspective, yeah, perspective is fine. I mean, there's nothing that I can say is like bad in this picture. I
No,
mean, as a quality of a painting.
yeah, I would agree. But it just there will always be the people that would just insist that these are just kids and nothing else,
There's
and you
just
shouldn't think more
look
about it.
look at the swamps.
Yeah, the
or
swans.
swans. They have a shadow on the water reflection.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I think. This is just like a drawing of a much clearer painting. I think this used to be a color painting, and then somebody just put a parchment above the painting and just drew all the lines, maybe. Or maybe it was not a painting; it was presented as a painting, but it was actually camera obscura as the original source.
Hmm.
Do you get what I? Because all the
Yeah, I mean, I
details.
mean, there's effect in Photoshop. Then you can, uh, click it a couple of times. You have like some painting effect from the big
Yeah,
photo. So
yeah,
uh,
you can get that.
probably they could have done the same if they had some quality of these effects. Who
They're
knows?
very impressive. But just
Because it looks like a computer drawing. In fact,
yeah, yeah, I get that. The
the
lines
lines are
are
straight.
yes,
Always equal step between the lines. It's like very. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a painter, but I know the
yeah,
computer design because I manage all those people. I have a crew, and they manage Illustrator, Photoshop. They manage Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects. So it's like I'm aware with the basics
yeah,
of those programs, what they can do, and so looks
yeah.
like
So
a computer generated image also.
and I've seen that also in well, it was not the argument was not that it was computer generated, but the argument was that there's this technology in the old world where you have these grips and you create like I don't know how it worked, but I just remember in one of Martin's videos way back, one of his subscribers told him about a technology of how to draw something extremely accurate, like as a photograph, by using a special technology of like a mini grid that is inside the paper, like small boxes.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I hate to spread hearsay. I just have all these fleeting memories sometimes, and they just pop up.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah,
very good because during the discussion, the truth comes always when some type of discussion, some type of argument goes on,
yeah,
and the
in the
truth comes out.
dialogue, yeah, true. Um, yeah. It was also just going through some of my old Starford pics, and I just noticed this. I hadn't noticed that before because you notice one thing, you're looking at Starfords and you see the Starford, but sometimes I'm a little bit hasty and I miss some details, and this was like a big miss. And like they are giants. They if they stood up, um, uh, with arched backs, they would be much taller. They are like kneeling somehow for something I don't know. And I think these are bigger guys too. But yeah, it seems to be giants.
What the
Uh,
hell are those people doing in the river?
yeah, I don't know. They're like sailing into the city, maybe. This guy looks. Is he on a horse? I think he's on a horse. But yeah. And these were from the UAP channel, and I took a photo of a computer image, so that's why they're blurry. You should go check out UAP's recent videos. He talks about what we are just talking about, and he has a lot of good ideas about it. And here is the church he compared with today, and he could. Yeah,
What
go
is
on.
what is the name of a church? How do you call the church?
I can't remember. So
I
you
mean,
will
no,
have
no, no,
to.
no, 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 no. How do you guys call the church in Denmark?
Oh, Kirke, like Kirk, Kirk,
Kirk.
Kirke.
So Kirk, right?
Yeah,
Kirk.
yeah. It comes from Circe, the Roman goddess Circe. Yeah, and
Because
you,
church is like chur. It's like Chur. So chur first.
yeah, sure.
Chur in Russian is the god or ancestor, um, column,
Hmm.
wooden column. When it's depiction of his face and stuff like this, the beard man, some
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be Saturn, a depiction of Saturn, maybe originally. I might be wrong. I'll have to look at it. But yeah, it could also be Bacchus. There's also a bearded guy that goes along, and also Jupiter
I
is a
mean,
bearded guy.
I mean, they were actually worshiping those anti-gods as what? Like as a natural power, as a natural force, as an ancestors, or it's like all combined in some unexplainable stuff that we right now know as the religion, you know? So it's like the
Well,
roots
yeah.
the roots of tradition is the same everywhere. It's like you know your parents, you know their your grandparents, you know the grandparents and stuff like this, and
Mhm.
sooner or later you like believe that some of your ancestors was great or something like this. So it's like I mean the church and the kirks and the places of worshiping were also the places of memory, and I mean the probably some collective information database centers.
Yeah, I could get your point. Could also
May
be that they, and I've seen that alluded to in like in the Lost series. They one of the last scenes they are in a church and they open the door and they go uh, into like this light field. And I thought, is Hollywood showing us something here? And basically they went into like this light field inside the church or through the church gate, and they popped out on the other side as like interdimensional portal. But yeah, that's
yeah.
just it's out there, of course. But I always wonder if just how much of Hollywood is public notice, if you know what I mean. Public notice information.
Yeah, we talk to a god, but we can, you know, we cannot do it physically. But could they done it back then? So I mean, maybe they were just, you know, accessing some information, some images that came to them, and while talking, they were actually managing the search, what they want to know. It's like, dear God, please tell me, like Siri, could you please tell me where's Denmark? I mean,
Yeah, I get your point. That could be a direct uplink. But as far as I'm concerned, the gods are the planets, and the planets are more than just, physical bodies, as NASA says. As we can see, they are lights in the sky. But as the alchemists say, behind every planet there is a personality. There is an inhabiting spirit within each planet, and you can communicate with these spirits. And that's basically what ceremonial magic and a lot of other magic is all about. How to manifest things in your life. Well, you look at what the age is, what time it is on the astrological wheel, and then you find out, which planet is in power right now. So in the age of Pisces, we have had Jupiter and Mars, and that's why they base their magic on these planets. And there's a lot of knowledge on how to, invoke Jupiter, and basically it all reduces to sounds, um, sounds and frequencies and certain. And I've been wondering if you have like as in the Roman city, you have a temple of Diana, a temple of Jupiter, a temple of Venus, and so on and so forth. What if each structure was tuned into a certain frequency that mimicked that certain frequency the
yeah.
orb in the heaven exerts?
It's I think it's like you know, McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC. So it's like different brands. So whatever you like most, whatever you need most. If you need chicken, you go to the KFC, right? So it's like this. So if you need this information about maybe some you wanna watch some action movies, you go to certain theaters with 3Ds and stuff like this, right?
Yeah,
If you want to read, you go to a library. If you want
yeah.
to, you know, so you know, you get my point. It's just you know, whatever you say, it's just you know, it's confirming, but in more practical way, because
and
it's
that
more simple than we used to think. In
they
fact,
would use certain planets for, let's say, Jupiter is known as being the cervix, or being where from you get gifts or downloads of information. So he's the great benefactor in astrology. So that's like that's how they tell us that Jupiter is the grantor of favors, and that can be seen in a very bad way, like nepotism and going against merit. So the guy who is not qualified to do the job gets to do the job and gets the glory, and that's what the bad side of Jupiter and nepotism is all about.
yeah,
So
but
there's a lot of answers in that respect in astrology and alchemy and so on and so forth, but we don't know where how much of the technology was based on these astrological or alchemical sciences. When I go through some of my old books, I seem to find a theme in some books where they have star forts, and then in the other picture, I will see symbols such as the moon and Saturn and Mars, and like, and I'm thinking to myself, is this a science book on astrology or on star forts? Because I'm getting confused. I shouldn't be expecting to see astrological symbols in like books on machines and stuff like that. But I get that. That's what I sometimes get when go through the old books and manuals. We get this alchemical language as if it is somehow also a technological manual, a way to understand the energies and how to couple them together. And you use the planets to explain it. Maybe because that the planets are responsible for some of the things that they do. I don't know, but I'm just playing around with ideas because all
uh,
these alchemical symbols are mixed with all of this, and I don't know why. I'm trying to figure it out.
yeah, we've been talking about with Richard, and I've been telling him and the Karen B from the Karen B channel that
Mm-hmm.
the Russians spent 22 billion for the expedition of three cosmonauts for 6 months. 22 billion. It's like uh, 300 million American dollars for 6 months.
Yeah,
Expedition of three-person. So I mean, this is like ridiculous. I mean, what if
just a
they
bit.
had the same stuff? And those alchemics were the guys who were explaining the stupid class or the shippo class why the elite spending so much on this. I mean, construction of something or maybe something. So it's like spending budgets and making money on it, and explaining it with some purpose of some use, maybe astrology, maybe some gods and stuff like this, like we have a
Mm.
project Jupiter and you have a project Venus, go ahead and build all those Jupiter temples, and you go ahead and build all those Venus temples, and all those guys spending money of the poor people and building all this crap for no use, actually, because it has no practical use. Nobody has ever proven that he was like had any practical use in this knowledge,
No,
except maybe esoteric purpose and some beliefs.
yeah,
you know
I get your point. It's not tangible, it's not practical, and it's esoteric in the
I
way
mean,
that.
it could be used. Probably Indian culture has even a ministry of astrology. It could be used for some reason, but if they have it in the government, it's probably the same system. It's just a puzzle from the system. It's just
Yeah,
working well.
exactly right. And there's a huge problem in the normal astrological system, as we call Western tropical astrology, because
Yeah,
it's fixed. It doesn't take into account that the stars of the heavens
it's like,
actually go under precessional changes, and the stars of 200 years ago are not the same stars as today,
yep, nobody
and
knows
that's the
it.
problem.
Yeah, and this is a good explanation for those who believe in space. programs, because you heard about something about astrology, so you think like, oh, astrology, yeah, it was existing for many centuries, for many thousand millenniums or whatever. There were people that were watching the sky and fixing all those stars in the maps and finding all those astrological
Mm.
predictions. And this is what backing up these cosmology of the space program.
Yeah, definitely. And so yeah, I'm also. Are you seeing my screen still?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I think this is like these look very Eastern Tartarian Muscovites, and they are fighting over a star fort, and they are using this gunpowder technology perhaps to blow up, like as you would see like in the Lord of the Rings where they carry the bomb into like the river kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Look at this, huge.
It looks like Russian attack in Turkish fortress,
Yeah.
and probably burning the gates with some Greek fire, because they
Oh yeah,
used to
Greek
have
fire. Yeah.
Greek fire that you cannot,
But
take out.
these bows, I see always when well, not always, but often when I see depictions of Tartarians, we have the bows. So I just wondered. Um, they just look very, yeah, as you said, Russian. But yeah, also these. I've been talking with the guys on Certus channel a lot about these are called rotating forts, forts tournants, and it means in French rotating forts or turning forts. So these forts were able to turn, and
Yeah,
that
have you seen the trams? Tramways were also turning back in the days when some, the vehicle, the tramway, were stopping, and then the whole ground was turning
oh
around, and then
yeah,
so this is the same technology. It has to be very precise, because no way you can turn this stuff forever without
no.
breaking it if it's not
So,
precise.
so
So
do
it's
you
like
know how it was turned?
it has like some algorithm. It's actually working to some modern days, and you can go to the museum and check it out. I'll
Because
probably
in this one, in this text, it stated that these forts were out in the water, they were used for war, and the guys stationed in these, and I don't see why you or how you would be stationed in, that would be like hellish work, but don't consider that. But
yeah,
they say that they were manually turned, so the guy
yeah,
would be using their hand power to turn them,
yeah,
and the idea would be so you could cover all the angles in war with the cannons. But what I don't get, Philip, is if it's already 360 degrees round and you have all the angles already covered, why would you need to turn it?
because if you have some cannons loaded and some cannons are not loaded, I mean, and you have to shoot before maybe you load the cannons. I mean, it's like when they attack, they usually attack from one or two sides, and so the rest of the cannons are loaded, but they are not in use. So it's faster to turn the fortress and shoot from the other side than to load all the cannons from on this side. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay, so the question would be, is it faster to turn the fortress
yeah, it's faster
than to
because it's
load?
really fast, because I've seen those trains turn around. It's like very fast, and just the one person can do it. So it's like it's more surprising than it actually looks like, because
Yeah,
it's
when
supposed to be
you
very precise to do it, because it's like heavy, 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 very heavy.
But yeah, like Archimedes' mechanical principles, if you just amplify or multiply, sorry, levers and pulleys and screws, you could basically theoretically move the whole Earth if you just multiply enough. So yeah, I get your point. Mechanics are like all powerful. We
I
just
mean,
forget.
nobody is entering all those mechanisms and showing this to us. They just show how it turns, so nobody knows
Yeah,
actually how it
nobody
turns.
knows that. Yeah, so yeah, you're right.
You can
And
only
I think
guess.
these are in Sevastopol, and I think these are also perhaps training ports, but I
Hmm.
might be wrong. Um, but yeah, And this is not perhaps because there's a bridge, but yeah, it's sometimes cool. I think it's worthy to consider that some of these rounded structures could perhaps also be turning ports.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, no, exactly. Why not? So we just need to find out how the turning forts in the picture I found was. I had to go to that source and find out a bit more about what they claim and where we can find them, and yeah, to
Yeah.
see if modern academia has something about it.
Yeah, the
Um,
problem with those pictures that they show in all those forts and fortresses and all this turning stuff is that you're supposed to have guns, you're supposed to have cannons,
hmm.
and the cannons that we observed are not, not working the way they tell they were working. So it's like uh, one guy in Russia, also the researcher of this alternative stuff, he cataloged all those cannons that can't even work, and there's like whole bunch of those types and like whole
Hmm.
bunch of totals. So it's
and,
like I'm
and
gonna
we
be
al-
making a video about that. So it's like
oh, that's
all
nice because I've been wondering, Philip. I always see the cannons like not shooting balls, but like emitting steam. It seems. You see?
yeah.
So what are they doing? Maybe the cannons are not used for shooting balls. They always seem to be emitting smoke or steam or maybe I don't know gas. No, steam perhaps. More like steam.
Where are the enemies?
And where are the enemies? Yeah. So it's not like you have to show demonstrate what a cannon does to know that it is a cannon. You see a cannon, you know it's a cannon. You don't need to demonstrate it. So like if the
Yeah.
painter wanted to see like these are cannons because you see they are booming, wow. But no, you just see a cannon and you know what a cannon is.
Yeah, I prefer photographs. I've been telling you this a bunch of times,
Yeah,
so that's why I
but
hate
we don't
to.
get photographs so old. If we want
Yeah,
to.
but we have all those cannons in the museum, so if you can go around in your capital, you probably find some cannons.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, many
think about
cannons.
how they were working actually, because they don't have any original those wheelbase stuff. This is all edited stuff and man-made in 19th century.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
How original.
I'll be looking out for that, and I'll see a video when you post it, so I know what to look for. Um,
If I will survive this week, I'll probably make it next week.
don't bury yourself in the. I know it's good to have passion or something, but maybe you should just take some days off sometimes.
Probably.
Probably. It's just a friendly advice.
Also
But yeah,
cannons there.
yeah, cannons and maybe also a little giant here. Yeah, I have so much of this, but it seems like it was not a problem for them to build a fort out on a lake. See a lot of water-based forts, like just built out on water,
Mm-hmm.
like harbor designs and big floating islands, and then turn to forts
Mm-hmm.
like this one.
Accidentally, so many islands in a
Yeah.
favorable condition.
And they were also Martin had shown these, but I was the one who found them and sent them to Martin. So I have the claim. Oh, I don't care. I don't care.
You you
But
you
still,
you you, you have to put your copyright there.
no, 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 no. These are for everybody. I just like to. I sometimes I find when I find something that is like kind of mind blowing. Uh,
Yeah,
they become like your finds and whatnot, and
if you
I
have
don't
something
want that.
if you have something mind blowing, send it to Richard.
Yeah, yeah. I used to post it in the Mudflood group, so Richard will also get it. But yeah, me and Andreas has and a lot of others have been trying to build like this foundry, we call it, but it's like an open source non Google platform. It's not on Google, and I have shared like 4,000 of my pictures on that site already, and we're planning to share it all there so everybody can go in and download it and go through it, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
gonna we're building a massive library.
Yeah, you told me you have like a time today, so I guess
Yeah, yeah, I need to go in like within 5 minutes, so we can round it off if you want.
yeah. Yeah, of course. I'll be thankful if we have another one like in a couple of weeks, so we can continue this topic with the addition of the information you bring up after this talk today. And please send me some links so that people can check it out by themselves and
Yeah, yeah,
take a look.
yeah. I will send you some links tomorrow. Sorry to be a drag,
Yeah,
but
no problem. People just get back tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So you'll find the
yeah.
links in the description to this video.
Also, yeah, just this last one. You see a giant and electric fort.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? Okay, so yeah, ready to round it off.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us today, guys. I hope you had fun and we didn't bother you with all these pictures. Yeah, shut down the,
Yeah.
the 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 screen share so we
Oh
can see
yeah,
your
sorry.
face. Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
guys, thanks a lot. It's awesome, and thank you, Philip, for us being a good conversationalist.
yeah. I hope
No,
so. I hope I didn't bother you
no,
also
no, no.
with
You're
my remarks.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no. No,
yeah,
you're very good at this. So thank you very much.
yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.